There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. Energy! Projection! That was Ian, my small-town theatre director, screaming at 8-year-old me from the other side of the hall because I wasn't projecting my lines loud enough. I was 8 years old, standing on this huge stage in the community hall, and I learned something that day that would change my life. I learned that you need to be a performer up here on stage, and that's not necessarily the same person as you are off it. But it took me 30 years to learn the real lesson. As a thought leader, your most powerful performance is when you stop hiding behind characters and you learn how to perform as yourself. This circle, I have to stay in it. But here's the thing, a constraint isn't a prison, it's a stage. And for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you what's possible when you stop seeing limitations and you start seeing the performance. Here's what they don't tell you about being a shy child who falls in love with theatre. You don't stop being shy. You just learn that there's this part of you, the performer, who comes alive under the lights, who can hold a room, who can make people feel something. That was me, the quiet child up the back of the classroom, not disturbing anyone, definitely not wanting to be the centre of attention. But put me on stage and I came alive. I played 8 roles in The Wizard of Oz. I was a munchkin, a lead dancer, I was singing, I was twirling through smoke machines. But here's the thing, it wasn't me up there. I was playing characters. I was hiding behind costumes. And what I had to learn was that as a thought leader, I had to learn how to bring the power of performance to my own story and my own message without the mask as a thought leader. And that's what I do now. I help leaders learn how to perform as themselves so that they can create moments on their stages and ensure that their message is unforgettable. I loved acting so much that I went and did a Bachelor of Performing Arts with honours. And then I went into the corporate world. And I climbed the ladder. I went from the shop floor to a state role, to a national role, and eventually I stopped. And I looked around the table and I saw marketing degrees, business degrees, MBAs. And me? I had a degree in costume changes and yellow brick roads. I felt like a complete imposter with the wrong costume on in the wrong show. But here's what's interesting. While most of them were terrified about speaking in front of groups of people, presenting out to senior leaders, rolling out workshops across the country, I wasn't, because I knew how to perform. I knew how to use my voice, my body, my energy to hold a room. That imposter degree, it became my superpower. Fast forward, I've left corporate, I'm running my own business, helping extraordinary leaders from around the world. Most of them actually would rather do anything but be up on stage, but they know that their mission is so big, the stage is where they need to be. And others, they love it up here. They love it and they're good, but they know there's something else, something that can make them that bit more captivating, a bit more immersive than the standard vanilla keynote. Like Byron was a chief technology officer. He was really comfortable in boardrooms, really comfortable in meetings, but he knew that that same formula was not going to help him captivate on stage in front of thousands in Seattle. And he was determined to blow his audience away. He just didn't know how. So we got to work. We only had 6 weeks. I didn't teach him how to present better slides. I taught him how to perform. And afterwards, he had over 100 people lining up, not to debate his content, to tell him that he moved them. And that's when I realised I wasn't teaching people how to speak, I was directing performances. Here's why this is so critical right now. We are drowning in content. Your audience has to decide if they're going to listen to you or they're going to listen to the next world's best podcaster or watch the latest Netflix documentary that's had $1 million budget. AI can generate a perfectly put together presentation in seconds. Your competition is not other speakers anymore. It's everything fighting for attention. And in that landscape, information isn't enough. Inspiration isn't enough. You have to create moments. The kind of moments that are talked about for years, the kind of moments that reflect and make people think about themselves and the world. And you can't do that by presenting. You can only do that by performing. Now, here's what people get wrong about performing. They think it means that you're being fake up here, that you're putting on a mask, that you're pretending you're someone you're not. And that's not what performance is. Think about an actor. For them to be 100% believable, they need to be 100% in character, fully committed, no holding back. That's what I mean by performing. Let me give you an example. Effective leadership requires 3 core pillars. Pillar 1, vision. You must be able to articulate the company's vision out to your people and give them strategic direction on how to roll that out. 2, support. Are you bored yet? Because there's pillar 2 and then there's pillar 3 and I've only done 1. I think I'll spare you. Let's try that again. I learned from a nana when it came to leadership. She was the head of the family, and every Sunday we would go to Nana's house and we would sit around the table, aunties, uncles, cousins. It was chaos. And Nana, she just had this way of making every single person feel like they belonged. I remember this one time, I was about 10 years old and I was petrified because I had to move schools. And Nana called me over and she wanted me to sit next to her on that little wobbly stool that no one wanted to sit on. And she patted it and I sat. And she looked at me. She really looked at me. And she said, Carmen, you know, being brave is not in the absence of fear. It's about knowing who you are and feeling scared, but doing it anyway. She showed me vision. She showed me who I could be. She gave me support. She made me feel like I wasn't alone. And she led with empathy. She didn't just say, you'll be right. She saw my fear and helped me move through it. That's the difference between presenting and performing. Because the first version, our corporate leader, you'll forget that message by tomorrow. The second one will stay with you forever. Here's what I know. After 3 decades in business and 4 decades on the stage, you already have a performer inside of you. It's that version of you who lights up when you're talking about something that you love. It's the version of you that gets loud at sporting events. It's the version of you who has crazy hand gestures when you're telling your friends a story. And that version of you, it's not less professional, it's more magnetic. And your audience, whether it's 10 or 10,000, they're not looking for another polished presentation. They are craving someone that's going to make them feel something, surprise them, stay with them long after the lights go out. You know what this Dorothy learnt? Home wasn't Kansas. Home wasn't Oz. Home was the moment I stopped trying to escape and claimed where I was standing. 18 years. For 18 years, I thought I should be somewhere else, be someone else, someone with the right degree, with the right credentials. But this circle, this stage, this is home. And the performer I needed to be, she was here all along. I wonder, what could you achieve? Who could you become? What would be possible for you if you decided to stop trying to escape your circle and claim it as your stage? There's no place like home.